Okay, here we are. If you're watching this video, that means you've already made a good decision or exploring a great decision. We're going to visit with Bob Sherwood, the founder and owner of Identimap and Trek42, which is a part of Identimap. And as you know, Bob has been a Silicon Valley serial entrepreneur for many years. This is a product, Identimap, that is a personality analysis tool, and that's why you're looking at it, because in your business, what you're engaged in, this is something that would benefit you. So Bob, what I'd like to do, so that people now have talked to you about this, let's get down into the details. The devil's in the details. In this case, the greatness is in the details. Let's talk about Identimap, what they would get if they continue this process and own a license to Identimap.
Sure, Dan. If you were to license this product, and you probably have in front of you now a copy of our license agreement, we've explored the financing issues, so you know what it costs, all those things. And you now asked, what do you get when you sign the agreement? Well, what you get, what's still the deliverable, is files, F-I-L-E-S. It's files for the website. It's files for the product. It's files for explanations of how the product works. You get all of that. Now, you load that on your server. Now, once it's on your server, we're not involved in it anymore, we being Identimap.com. You operate it yourself. So what I'm going to show you is how we operate it now, but everything I show you will be running on your server. Now it's running on my server. Once we deliver all the files to you, that runs on your server. So the first website that normally you would have, again, presuming that you want to use some of the text, you probably won't use the image that we have up here and click. You won't have probably click to try for free. You'll have something else. But
that's an important question, Bob. An important question is if I license this, I can put my own images or my name.
You can do whatever you want. You can use our image. You can use our text, or completely use your own text and use only our text as samples. Remember, once you license it, everything I'm going to show you is yours. You can change it any way you want. We have no control over it, right?
Yeah. And importantly, anybody wondering, there's no Identimap Big Brother watching while you're doing it. It's private. So the people that take the test and you as an organization, it's private to your organization because it's on your server.
It's on your server. Everything is on you. We don't get copies of anything. You can decide who gets copies of the survey. But for example, you may want to take a look at some of the text we have on their website, because we talk about better hiring and fit. We talk about applications. You can see some of the text, right? We talk about how it improves communication. So all the text that you're seeing here, you would get as a file. And the file, for example, would be that you can load on your server. Once a file is on your server, then you can take this text and modify it any way you want. We have suggestions. For example, here's one. You might want to have certain instructors in your company that are certified to actually give the survey that we're going to talk about in a minute. So we have a poster here. You get a copy of the image poster. You can use it any way you want. You can design your own poster. We don't care. These are suggestions about what you should have on your website, on your server, to make it work. How does the technology work? We explain it. Now, if you're licensing it and your people in your company, maybe you've got 100 employees or 5,000 employees, they might want to know how it works. So you can use our text for that. In other words, you'll have your own website. You'll have this page or a page like it, which people that access this will be able to look at. And although we say reach out to us here, you'll be, say, reaching out to you if you want to use our text. Now, there's a document that we have that's called Why You Are You. It's shown right here. That document, you get the whole document. It'll be in a Word doc. You can change it all you want. You can change the name. You can change it to let's say your name of your company is let's say you're Google. You could have Google personality test on it, or Google personality results. We don't care. It's yours once you license it, right? But you would certainly have a page that other people could go to and look at and understand what the survey is all about.
Yeah, that explains
You might
it.
have something we have here, but it wouldn't be a Identimap. It'd be, well, let's just say, for example, you'll be the ABC company. As the ABC company, you load it on your server, you have an HR department, a lot of people access it, but they'll still want to know, why should I use a personnel? We say why invest in it, but you could say why you use it. We don't really care. It's yours. So all the text here you get, and you change it any way you want. You can use our images or not. And that's very, very important to understand that once you license it, we send you the files that represent this website, right?
Right.
You know, every website basically is a file. It's a developer file. It's an HTML file. You may not know what HTML means, but you'll have an IT department that will. And they'll want to know, well, how does it work? Well, they get the file that produces this. So once you load the HTML file on your server and you click on it, you'll see this page. And then you start changing it to fit what you're trying to do with it, right?
Very good.
All right. So another thing you're going to get, now we have, of course, the opportunity, the product, and the application. Now, the application is something that you'll want to study as a licensor. Again, you don't need this image. You have any image you want, but you'll be able to have some information to explain to your HR people using it, how to use it. And here's another one, an interview helper. So this is an application that, again, we've already talked about in the pre-licensing discussion. And you can use the page, you can use these images. You'll have this image. And this image, what this image says is that one of your HR people has 30 people in their computer department, as we've discussed earlier in the discussions. Not today, but before. And every time they add a person, they want to add a person that's similar to the other people you have, because you have a successful team. That's what that image is showing. Application interview helper, right? You can do side-by-side analysis. These two people obviously probably wouldn't work well together. Over here, you can see a difference in the bar charts. These are images that you'll now have on your own server. People coming to your application of these products will see this. They'll then understand how to use it. Your computer manager might say, well, how do I use this? Well, by making sure that the people you hire are very similar to the success of the people you have now. The product that you're licensing is called Trek42. That's a product owned by Identimap. You're going to get that product. We don't care what you call it, all right? You can call it ABC 42, or you can call it the ABC personality study. We don't care, right? You'll have this text explanation. So no matter what you call it, you may want to use our tech, because we explain it. But you may not want to explain it as Trek42. If your company is adopting this as a licensed product, you'll probably rename it. If you're Google, you may want to change it to Google Personality Survey. Doesn't matter to us. You're the licensor. You get the code, you get the text, you get all the images we see. You may say, I don't want to use that image. No problem. Use whatever image you want. These are all suggestions for how a website works and how it explains to people how to use the product, right?
Yeah.
So you get all these websites. Obviously, you probably are not going to use the opportunity. You'll use the product and you use the applications, right? And you'll have something as a home page. Now, so one thing you get as a licensor, one big thing, is all the files that are represented by this website that I'm showing you. Okay? You don't get access to this website on our server. You take those files, load them on your server, and then when you call it up, you'll see what I'm showing you here, and then you'll start changing it to fit what you want, to fit the name you want, right? Now, once you have put together your website with all the information that we've just discussed, the applications, the product descriptions, the descriptions I'm showing you here, the purpose of the website is to introduce people to the product so they click on the product and take the survey. The survey is the personality survey, right? Now, we put the link to the product on the first page of the website. You don't have to. In fact, you don't even have to have a website. You can just go right to the survey itself, as long as you explain to people how that works. But the way we've set up this as a template for licensors to look at. So remember, so far, as a potential licensor of this product, right, you get all the code, all the files that are represented by the website. Now, the way we have it set up is the user, your employee, an HR department, somebody from your company clicks on something that says, try it here. I says, try it for free. You might have it, try it for $50. We don't care. That's up to you. Now we call the product Trek42. You may want to call it the ABC survey analysis. Again, you just go up and you'll just change this particular image to reflect your company. But you'll get this site, you'll get this page that I'm looking at that you can then change. You'll get this explanation here, right? You can change that. And then you get the actual survey. Now, the way ours is set up, and I'm actually going to do it so you kind of see how it works. I'm going to go in and put first and last name. So I'm going to put in Bob Sherwood, all right? And please enter email address. So this is actually working. So I'm actually going to put in Web Talk with Bob. That's my email address. Now, the way the product is set up now, after I take the survey, that's Bob Sherwood, the survey results will go to two people. It'll go to me, and will go to the owner of the product, which would be you in your case, right? The licensor or the licensee. So you don't have to do that. You can have it set up so that only you get the results. The survey taker, that's Bob Sherwood, doesn't see them until you talk to Bob about it. We have it set up so that Bob Sherwood gets a copy and the owner of the license gets a copy, but you don't have to do that, right? So now, once this person starts taking it, here's how they take it. I'm going to do this in real time. So I'm going to actually take the survey. I didn't get my there. I got my email address in there, yeah. And so I'm going to go through, and here's how a person would do it. And this is the only thing that you can't change, right? And I'm just going to start going here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here, here.
You're bold.
Here,
yes.
here,
I would say you have high self-esteem.
Here.
Entrepreneur that you are. You do
here,
speak your mind. This we know.
And I'm going to go over here and click. Now, the person taking the survey, will actually respond to each of these things. And I keep going. Now, this part you can't change because this is the guts of the product. You can't actually put in your own words. Otherwise, you can't use the results we have is based on our analysis of a person taking a survey responding to these particular phrases. Now, at some point, I've completed the survey. I do a few more here, and I can't.
Analysis driven, you would be.
Yeah. Okay, so at some point, I've completed the survey. And remember, I'm the survey taker. Now, what we're looking at now is what your people will actually see. And when they finally finish, they'll go submit, and they're done. Now,
and important.
That's what you get. So we already talked about you get the files for the website. The second thing you'll get is the actual survey that I talked about. And you can set up your thank you letter. The way this goes, this is a thank you letter that will come to me. And you can set up your thank you letter in any way you want. You can say something like, thank you, Mr. Robert Smith. You're a new candidate for the HR job. We'll get back to you with the results, within a few days. It doesn't matter. Only thing what you control is who gets this thank you letter. The way the product is currently set up, two people get the thank you letter. The person that took the survey, in this case, it was Bob Sherwood, and the owner. So if you were the licensor, Bob Sherwood would get the results of the survey, and you would get a copy of Bob Sherwood's results. Or just you can set it up so just you get a copy. And then you call Bob Sherwood into your office and say, We've given you the survey. Here's the results of your survey. You look like you're a good candidate, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a second big thing you get. And that's where our development money has all gone into. The survey, which creates the results. All right, now, what I'm going to do now is that if I go back to my Gmail account as the owner of this product, and you would go to your own Gmail account, you'll get a copy of the results that Bob Shore just took. Now you may have some questions about the survey. What does it all mean? So another thing you get is a file that's called, see if I can bring it up here now. It's actually called the Identimap method, what they mean to you, the results, right? Now you may call this something differently, but for people that are going to discuss the results with the survey taker, we have this very long but detailed analysis of what each of the criteria mean. We measure criteria, whether you're an achiever, a encourager, an analyzer, or a listener. Now, again, we've already been through that in our early discussions, so that's not important for this particular presentation, because you will have already had discussions what they are. The important thing is you get this file. Again, this is a document that we've created that you would give to your HR people that they would use to help explain to people how the whole thing works. So far now, you get the files for the website. You get the product files. You get a document that you can customize to your own needs, right? And those are all files that are delivered to you and run on your server. Now, we're going to go to email for a second, and we're going to right here, see where it says Identimap Trek42? That's the file that will be sent to you, the licensor, right? Now I'm going to try to open it. It's right here.
There it is.
Okay,
now, here we go. You've clicked on that file that came to the end user that took the test right away, and they get this wow, and it explains their individual personality and with a little bit of explanation on each one.
Yeah. So now the user gets a PDF file. The survey taker gets this PDF file. You get the PDF file. And this is the results. Now, I don't need to read this because you've been through it before. You can actually go to our website right now if you wanted to and take it yourself and look at the PDF file. So this is the last thing you get. So let me review again. You get files for the website. You get files for the applications on the website. You get files for the product. You get the survey product, which we call Trek42, which you can call ABC42 or ABC or whatever you like. And then you get the results. Now, that's the part you can't actually change because the product itself is developed around an interpretation of the person's response to the survey questions and creates this data. Now, this data here comes from the cloud. The cloud will now operate on your server. So you will get the cloud code that creates this PDF. Now, you may not know exactly how that works, but your IT guy will. And when it's loaded on your server, it'll operate just like we have shown it. Then you'll make the changes. You'll, for example, instead of the thank you letter you'll change the text on a thank you letter, or you'll change the text on this, or you'll get rid of the Identimap logo because it's your product now. If you're the ABC company, this is the ABC product, the survey, the files, the website, the applications. All of those are owned by you. They run off your server. We get copies of nothing.
Yeah. This is where it would be important to make sure your IT guy is a part of this conversation in this video, because they will understand, hey, we're going to load this on our server, and it makes it easy for them because they don't have to do any coding except maybe change a logo from Identimap to your individual company logo or business logo.
These files.
All right. So let's cut there. So Bob, let's review again, and you've talked about it numerous times, the specific things that if I license Identimap, Trek42, whatever I want to call it, as I own the license, what would they get one last time so it's clear to them and an IT person or HR person or anybody involved in watching this video?
Is all the files that you'll load on your server to duplicate everything I've shown you. That's the website, the applications, the product, the survey results, and the document that explains what the survey results mean, what we call why you are you. You may call it something different. All those represent computer files. So what does this mean? You sign the agreement at 9 o'clock Monday morning. At 10:30, we send over about 30 different computer files. You'll give these files to whoever runs your website, and they'll load those files on your server, and then you'll run it just like I just showed you and start making changes that are customized to your specific needs. After that, and we're not involved in that, you are.
Powerful tool. Visit.
If we enter into a license agreement, which we would be doing, all right, then more than likely you will ask for a certain number of hours of training that'll be part of the agreement. And whatever that number of hours is what we would supply.
Okay. And to be successful, they're going to want to invest the right amount of, make sure they're
10 hours of training would be an eternity of training for this product.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying, is that's part of the license agreement. You've got the deliverables, which are the files. Then you've got the training, which is a paragraph or two in the license agreement that we would be providing.